Alright my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a fresh episode of F1 Manager 22 and our Aston Martin career mode. You can catch the last race above, so feel free to go and check that one out my friends, if in case you've missed it. But today we're going to crack on and it's Australian Grand Prix time. We got a bit of management and stuff to do first and foremost though, so let's take a look at all this stuff, shall we? So post race, yeah, it just wasn't really going right. The board watched the race this week and disappointed with the performance. Well, maybe give me a better car then. And braking and the medium speed cornering are two of the issues. Now, we are obviously working on some parts at the moment. And I'm hoping that going into Australia, we will have at least one of those new parts fitted to the car. So yeah, let's hope that's the case. We are going to press forward, gang. There isn't too much we need to be doing. But so I went right into informing the board satisfied with your work. That's okay. I would expect a good result in your board review in 4 months. Okay, fair enough. I'm just letting you know that our monthly finances for the month are complete. Yeah, our balance is pretty nice at the moment, 40 odd million. And actually, that was something I did want to work on. So monthly car braking. Yeah, like I say, we're already working on some parts. There we go. Suspension. Low stock with a low number of our manufactured design. Okay, I'll have to take a look at that for both cars, shall I? So yeah, let's just go to the warehouse and just side pods is not what I need to look at. Suspensions, so we've only got 3, so we need to manufacture some more basically, which shouldn't be too much of an issue. We might as well do that now. Manufacture suspensions, that one. So we've got 3, so how about we just do 3 more, so we've got 6, and then I'm going to rush it through. We've got the money there, so it's really not a problem. So we're going to manufacture those. We've got our chassis that are being sorted out at the moment, which is something. But yeah, I'm going to take a look at the facilities because we've got 40 odd million in the kitty. I'm looking at the wind tunnel and the simulator for obvious reasons because everything else is sort of grade 2 at the moment. So we've got the simulator. What does that help with? Airflow, downforce, drag reduction, and then the wind tunnel is going to help with similar stuff as well. But I'm going to upgrade it. I'm going to throw 10 million at this and get the wind tunnel upgraded first. I'm not going to let our cash go too low. Let's take a quick look at the star facilities though. The team hub. So what would this do for us? Team attractiveness, morale would go up, and weekly experience gain would go up. Obviously, our outgoings are going to cost a little more. Got our scouting department. I think it just adds a scout to the amount that we've got. I think it would up it to 3, and but it would double our monthly upkeep. And then our race simulator, which is good for our driver experience. But I think I'm going to upgrade the team hub as well. And then the operations stuff. So we did the memorabilia room, didn't we? So the hospitality area, team attractiveness is basically what that gives us. The weather centre might be a good one, because the forecast accuracy would be very good as well. So let's do that. I know we're spending a fair bit of cash here, and it's only the 3rd race of the season, down to 27 million, but we're making some good money, so I think it kind of makes sense to do that. Right, so we've got to do our race prep. To do this every race. Now I realise I made a bit of a mistake last time. I said reach Q3, and that's a bit silly. I think reach Q2 should be our additional one that we do, because that's what we are closer to doing. Obviously Q1 is the first one we go into, so yeah, Q3 means we would be trying to qualify for the top 10 positions. I'm not going to bother with this, and I'm not going to bother with this. We are going to leave that as it is. Now, I don't think our car part is done, gang, which is unfortunate. Current projects, chassis. We've got one. I think one's been made. Suspensions we've already got, and that's still in the process. So let's actually head over to our car number 1 chassis. Let's change to that. We're going to install that on Vettel's car. Vettel is our number 1 driver, so I think it's only right that we do that. So we're going to stick that on Vettel's car. So Vettel is hopefully going to have a slightly faster race car for this Grand Prix than Stroll. Stroll is literally sticking with what we've always had. But yeah, let's head in to the race weekend.
Welcome to Melbourne for a weekend of fierce competition. We're a stone's throw from the beach here at the Albert Park circuit. It might be party mood in the grandstands, but in the paddock, expectations and tensions are high. The Albert Park circuit is bursting with rapid corners and a long straight where drivers can push their speed to the limits. Good attention to medium speed downforce will likely make beating this beast of a track just a little bit easier. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. Stay right here, because we're just getting started.
Right, so it's time for practice. I'm going to go away and do it like I always do. No one's been asking for me to do it as part of the episode, so I'm going to go away, do practice. We'll be right back to see how it's gone and then crack on with qualifying. So practice is over, gang, and we are where we've been the whole time, 17th and 18th. But I do feel like we've closed the gap ever so slightly on this second Haas driver. To be fair, I don't think we've closed the gap on Haas as a whole though, because as you can see, Kevin Magnussen is up in 10th place. I feel like Williams are quite close to us on this race weekend, more so Stroll than Vettel, but that's to kind of be expected. And as far as the cars are concerned, you're going to see that Vettel's car knowledge is actually down by 90%, but that's because we've had that new chassis onto his car. So yeah, we have got that. And actually, I was thinking about it. Maybe it was a little bit harsh on Lance Stroll to give Vettel the upgrade, because Stroll was actually ahead of Vettel in the Constructors' Championship, but it is what it is. We've got a 64% and a 62% confidence in the cars. I may tweak that going into qualifying, but let's just see. Qualifying though is coming right up. Right, I'm going to send Lance Stroll straight out. I didn't actually tweak the setups for the cars. I've left it as it is. I know I got a little bit of a boost last time around. And you know what? I'm going to give Lance Stroll a little bit of racetrack, and then I'm going to send Vettel out as well. I want to try and beat the traffic this time around if possible. So I just don't want to get caught up in it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Vettel now, because as you can see, cars are being sent out. But let's go to Lance Stroll, and I'm actually going to leave it on automatic for this qualifying session. The last two, I've kind of been in control, but I don't actually think it's made too much of a difference, to be honest with you, gang. I think all we can do now is hope that the cars can kind of get the job done, you know. So just got to get these tyres up to strength and go from there, basically. So lap 1, we'll watch it in all its glory, I think, gang. We're just going to speed it up to get him there to see whereabouts he's going to be for his flying lap. Let's hope there's not too much traffic on the racetrack for when he gets started. I'm really hoping I've sent him out at about the right time, sending him straight out. He's going to be the first car to kind of get the racetrack up and going, but let's watch this lap in all its glory as Lance Stroll is the first man to set an official lap time in this Australian race weekend. It's been a real struggle the first two races. I kind of expected it to be like this. I haven't played the game too deep on my own, so I am still kind of learning as I go along. I feel like I know the basics, but to really get the most out of the car, I think maybe I might have to go away and watch some tutorials and stuff online, see if there's any good ways of really getting the car up to speed and getting the most out of it. But you know, I feel like I've got the basics pretty. I feel like I've got the basics down, and I feel like I'm getting to grips with it to some degree. But yeah, it's a tough game. But I'm at the same time glad we're not at the front, because that just would be super unrealistic, wouldn't it? So I do quite like the fact that it's realistic in the fact that we aren't flying at the front of the grid, and we aren't struggling to some degree.
we're happy to let these tyres cool.
Obviously, at the same time that Stroll is setting this lap, Vettel is on a flying lap as well. So we're just sticking with Stroll because we've watched the whole lap. He's 1:14 as he turns the final corner. What is he going to punch in? It's going to be a 1:21, which is a lot quicker than he went during practice. Let's just skip on over to Vettel and see how he is getting on. I think Vettel might have got stuck behind a bit of traffic here. No, he's a similar pace, maybe even a tad quicker as he rounds that final corner. And Vettel's going to go 1:20.8, I think Vettel's just done, which is very good. Very, very good. Okay, let's see where that leaves us, though, in regards to everybody else. These guys are going to complete their in-lap now and come in. And, yeah, let's let everybody set a race time and we'll see where we are. And, you know, we'll see what we need to do if we are going to send these lads out. So I am just going to reconfigure. I'm going to put a fresh pair of soft tyres on for him. And we'll do the same over here. Just so they're done and ready as and when we want to send them back out onto the racetrack. But it's early in this qualifying and there's a lot of cars leaving it till late. We are where we are expected to be. Look at us dropping down. Hamilton's obviously got caught up in some traffic or whatnot there, hasn't he? But yeah, we're ahead of the Williams, so yeah, that's kind of what I expected, I guess. So they're all kind of coming in. I'm going to send Vettel out. Let's see that first and foremost. We're going to send Vettel out. There's only a few cars on the racetrack, and I think I'm now going to send Stroll. And what we'll do is we'll stick with Vettel for this flying lap this time around. But yeah, I'm going to try and send them out a little bit before, basically, we get stuck with everybody throwing their cars out, which is usually around about the 4-minute mark, I've realised. So let's just get these guys around the track. As you can see, cars are slowly kind of filtering out. So let's see what we can do. So Alonso's just completed his in-lap. And we are going to stick with Vettel this time. Just stick it on the normal speed and we'll see what Vettel can do with this flying lap, shall we? See if he can improve. Sainz, Schumacher, Gasly are all yet to set a time. And it's interesting because both of our cars are into Q2 as things stand, which is very interesting, but there are cars still yet to set a time. Sainz went fastest in practice, so the Ferrari's definitely one to keep an eye on. I do think Hamilton is as well. I think he's just had a poor lap with traffic and whatnot. Might have been a mistake there. So someone has just set a lap. Schumacher has just set a lap, and there you go. Normal service is resumed, I think. But Gasly's still yet to set a lap. I think he might actually be on a flying lap at the same time we are.
Do what you can to keep the tyres cool. Copy.
Here we go. Let's see if we can improve on that first lap that we set. Oh, I think he's gone a bit wide there. That didn't look like the best line from Vettel, to be fair. Where are we as we round here? 110. I think he might be slightly slower, to be honest with you, gang. Not sure this is as good a lap as the first one or as clean. And I don't think he's improved. I really don't think he's improved at all. As Stroll now is the next car. Let's just see if he can improve. Both cars are going to be in that drop zone. And Stroll doesn't improve either. And actually, Albon is ahead of Lance Stroll where qualifying is concerned. 16th, though, would be really good from Vettel. But Hamilton's going to go back out. But I think that's going to be qualifying over for us, to be honest. I'm not going to send the lads out and do a third lap, to be fair. This is fully where I expected us to be honest with you, gang. Look, all the cars are going to get sent out. Do you know what? Hamilton might be in a little bit of trouble here if he gets caught in some traffic again. But like every single car obviously is out on the racetrack. They're all going to try and improve. We've done our 2 laps. And I'm just going to have to go into the race weekend as it is. Might have maybe gone out a little bit early.
Okay, and all the way to 0. All the way to 0.
But session has ended. We're just going to see who punches in what lap. But it just shows you how slow we are. I was happy with a 120 and Verstappen's gone and put in a 118.7. So, yeah, shows you where we're at. Hamilton did improve quite a lot. So, yeah, we're going to be starting... We are going to be starting 17th and 19th, respectively.
Here we are, folks. We're back for another day of scintillating F1 action. It's race day.
Aston Martin did a good job during qualifying, and they're pretty much where everyone expected them to be on the grid. Now, it's up to them to defy expectations during the race itself. Haas met their potential in qualifying, and they'll be expected to make a good start on the grid. Let's see if they can make it work for them. And the weather is sunny here today, apart from a few clouds. Let's hope they remain scattered on the horizon.
In any case, Melbourne is ready, and so are we. So strap yourselves in for the Australian Grand Prix.
Right, so it's time to set the cars up, gang. It's time to do our race strategies, and I think we are, because we are so far down the grid, we're going to go on a 2-stopper. I'm going to go medium-hard for Vettel, and I think I'm going to go hard-medium for Stroll. A bit of me was thinking maybe going hard-medium for both, but I want to slightly change their strategies up because we can see what the pace is like. Maybe we'd want Vettel on the faster tyre later in, but we've got to think about pit stops. So I don't know what to do. Do I start them both the same? The medium is going to be the faster race tyre later on in the race, which is when it might be important, but no, do you know what? I'm going to go hard-medium for both. I'd like them to both be a bit quicker in the latter part of the race. I think that's the strategy I'm actually going to employ for both. I don't think it's going to hurt, to be honest with you. I'm really disappointed in Stroll's qualifying, though. 19th, a Williams in front of him.
Hope I'm not tempting fate here, but there are quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. And there's Sebastian Vettel. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. Everything's been building to this. Get ready for the Australian Grand Prix.
So here we go. When those lights are out, we go racing, gang.
Lights out, and away we go.
Gonna stick with Vettel to begin with, because he is the car furthest up the field for us. And we've done very well there. We've done very well there off the start. I think Vettel's gained a position, Stroll's gained a position. Pretty good stuff for us. Need to just turn this down because I feel like I'm shouting. There we go. Look at Lance Stroll. He gained 2 positions. So let's take a look at this. Beautiful stuff around the outside. And then I think he might have just kind of followed along. Lovely bit of driving there.
Back in the garage,
and there is your episodic overreaction. You gotta love it. Right, so
Good job.
we're gonna push to begin with, the same way I always do, and just see what we can do.
looks like Aston Martin.
Stroll overtakes the night. So Stroll's up to 16th. We should really take a look at this, actually.
So this was the Aston
Action-packed.
Martin.
Give him the squeeze up the inside. Still there. And then has him around the outside. Lovely bit of driving. Really good. Really good.
So easy.
Oh, got to love that from the first lap. I'm not going to get overexcited like I did with the last race, though, because as we all see last time, it can all go peak tong very, very quickly. yeah, let's. This is just the opening. Let's just stick with it on normal speed for the opening lap. I'd just like to see what's happening. And Vettel's going to have a little cheeky look up the inside on the McLaren, and I think he's going to get the job done. That is really good stuff from Vettel. I'm not going to watch the replay because we've all just seen it live and in colour. Absolutely brilliant.
Doing a good job. Keep pushing.
A lot of this is because we are pushing quite heavily on this first lap, and we're probably going to try and push in this next lap as well. I think as the race settles down though, we might find that the McLaren will take us again, but we've got some good pace in the early race. So let's just take a look at how we're doing. 1:31 for Vettel and a 1:32. We're quicker than that McLaren. We're quicker than the AlphaTauri. A lot quicker than the Williams and Mick Schumacher as well. So yeah, it might just be that we are pushing quite heavily on the tyres to begin with. We've got to get them to lap 33 for optimal. One's going to have to come in 32 or 34 because obviously we don't want a double stack if we can help it. But yeah, we are pushing quite extensively in the early race, but I don't really have too much of a problem with it when it's going as well as it is. So let's just up this speed a little, and we'll just keep an eye on it. But yeah, Vettel has got himself some pretty good respes. Multiple car crash.
Schumacher crashed. Yeah.
He was behind us though, wasn't
We
he?
can take a look now.
Let's take a look.
Let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi.
He's just locked up. Oh, he's locked up, and that's
caused a lot of damage.
that's game over. DRS is enabled. We've got to recharge our batteries, so we are going to have to ease off a little there. And is that
Just need to charge up.
is that race done? Is that race done, or are they just in the pits? Be interesting to see. Whatever happens, we're going to be pulling out quite the lead. I think that might be race done for Schumacher, which is interesting, very interesting. But anyway, let's push this forward a bit more again, as yeah, we've settled in nicely to this race, to be fair, haven't we? I expected the McLaren to kind of chase us down. I am trying to recharge the batteries at the moment, and DRS is open now as well, so we are going to have that to contend with. The first few laps are always easier because you don't really have that DRS to worry about too much, but we need to keep Ricciardo within a second to be able to use the DRS, so we'll get that DRS train going, and that will help drag us along and stop the McLaren from overtaking us. But the McLaren's going to take the Haas. As you can see, that extra bit of pace is helping. But can we guard against this McLaren, and how long can we guard against the McLaren for? I am going to deploy our battery for this lap to just give us a bit of extra juice. Magnussen could potentially be there for the taking. We've got him within half a second, so with a little bit of DRS, it might help. But he's keeping Ricciardo honest as well, though, so we do have to keep that in mind. 58 lap race, we've got a long wait to go. And Vettel is trying to catch, and he might just take. Oh, he looked like he was going to have him, and I don't think he's going to quite get the job done. And I'm going to have to settle these tyres in because they've got to go a long way. So I'm going to have to just ease off a bit for both drivers now. We've got to really manage those tyres, and yeah, we're just going to have to manage the way we do things in this race now. If the McLaren overtakes us, I'm not going to fight it too much. I really don't expect us to be. I don't expect us to be competing with the McLarens in the race. So yeah, I'm not gonna fight it too much. It would be nice for us to be able to stick with them, but if we don't, we don't, you know. But we're a very honest 14th position at the moment. We really, really are. We're doing quite well. And there we go. We're going to take the McLaren. He's had a mistake. The other McLaren. Oh, he's slowing down. There's something going on. But we've taken the other McLaren. We're up to 13th. And Stroll's going quite nice in 16th as well.
Aston Martin with a great play.
But yeah, we'll just take a better look at that. I don't know what happened to the McLaren there. I don't know if he just got poor traction or went a bit wide, but we have made the most of the mistake, and it's actually helped us drag that Haas in a bit as well. Let's just deploy a bit of battery.
Use energy if you need it, use energy.
Because this is a very fast straight here. We'll try and keep those McLarens behind for as long as possible. Come on, Vettel. Not bad, not bad. We're going all right in the early stages. There we go. I kind of expected that to happen, but are we going to take him back? Oh, I think we might. It's too wide. It's too wide. Look at this. Look at this. This is what people want to see. This is entertainment. This is what people want from F1. But as a result, we might lose another position, though, because of the fighting. And, yeah, we're down to 15th as a result. You can't say it's not entertaining, but Stroll has got so much fuel. Let's push.
McLaren with a great overtake.
No saving required. Okay.
And yeah, we've actually lost a lot of ground now. We're over 1.3 seconds away all of a sudden. It's so strange how we compete for that first 7 laps, and then all of a sudden we've just dropped off. Doesn't make sense. How has he got 4.6 laps of extra fuel in the tank, Stroll? That doesn't make sense to me at all. Now it's got 5.4. How is he gaining fuel? Is it because he's following Vettel? Vettel might have a problem here. Vettel's slowed up a lot. A hell of a lot. It's wheel to wheel. Wheel to wheel. Anyway, I really need to speed this up because we're going to be here all day otherwise. Yeah, Vettel is struggling a little at the moment. He's keeping Stroll behind him somehow. Stroll is pushing because I'm just trying to burn off some of that fuel. And feel like, yeah, we'll balance it out now. I need to harvest the energy for both cars. But yeah, we're kind of, I feel like we've settled in now. Tsunoda's managed to get past Stroll, so Tsunoda will only be hunting Vettel down now. And with the DRS, he's probably going to get past him. It's only a matter of time, really. But Albon is 6 seconds up the road from Stroll. And Latifi is a long way behind. So yeah, as things stand, it's not a bad race at the moment. Not a bad race at all. Really just need to harvest that energy properly. Tsunoda, though, Tsunoda has used the DRS there to his advantage to get past Vettel. I'm not going to bother watching it. Look, it was nice to be in that little fight with these guys, be up in 13th place, but I feel like this is about where we're expected to be. So let's just see what happens. It'd be great if we could keep these guys all behind us, but that Haas, I would imagine, is going to be pretty quick and will eventually have a real go as the race goes on. But we've started on the hard, and we've got to go to like lap 33, so we've got a long way to go in this race yet. And it really, at the minute, it's just about managing expectations. If we can keep Albon around about 6 seconds away, I'd be quite happy with that. And we're only gaining with the fuel as well that we're going to be able to burn off in the later part of the race. The issue is we could have done with keeping Vettel and Stroll a bit closer together so that they could have basically used the DRS, but that is what it is. It's just one of those things. But there's definitely some improved race pace there from Vettel, to be fair. So I am enjoying that. Yeah, it's just, this is all about micromanaging now. Up to the pit window. We are gonna deploy a bit of energy because Albon's really kind of reined us in. There are some pit stops going on, some very early pit stops, but that suggests that potentially these drivers are going to be going on to the hard tyre. See, whereas we've gone hard medium, many have gone medium hard by the looks of things. So, or some of them might even be free stopping, making the most of the soft tyre. I've just decided to go with a two-stopper because we were so far down the grid, and I think it made sense to do so. Stroll has overtaken Vettel. Stroll has made the most of an opportunity, and he has overtaken Vettel, and he's now up to 14th position on the racetrack. And the yellow flag, Norris had a bit of a moment. Yeah, Norris had a bit of a moment. We'll take a look.
Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris.
And there we go. He's just lost the back end.
Yes.
And that is not a good time of it for Lando. We've got plenty of energy in reserve, so let's deploy our energy. I'm probably using the ERS all wrong, okay, the battery. I probably am. I'm aware of it in F1, but it's the DRS, which is something I'm aware of more. But there's obviously this extra battery power that just kind of gives the power unit a bit more. Yeah, like I say, I am probably using it all wrong. We've got so much fuel that we might as well push. The battery's empty. Yep, that's fine. Let's go back to there. So yeah, we might as well push with him. Vettel and Stroll are over their own little race at the moment because obviously they're within the DRS of one another. And we'll just burn off some of that fuel. We'll send it back to a more balanced approach. But we're going along quite nicely in 14th and 15th. Obviously we've got our pit stops to come, so we have got to think about that. This probably isn't where we're going to finish, but now, as you can see, Vettel and Stroll are dragging each other along in the DRS zones, which is probably a good thing because it just means they're really pulling each other along in this race. But as you can see, Magnussen, I feel like he's a lot closer than this is saying he is. Yeah, 3 seconds up the road. They were saying 30 seconds a minute ago. No, he's 3 seconds away. Albon's the one. We keep him within 6 seconds. Will do us the world of good. But the Haas is a pretty quick race car, isn't it? So, yeah, we need to harvest some energy. I might just need to harvest that for a couple of laps. But there we go. More pit stops are going on. We're up to 12th and 13th on the racetrack. We're going to get dizzy soon and have nosebleeds, gang. But this is the joy of going medium hard. So, yeah, let's just take a look. So, everybody now, barring George Russell, are on the hard tyre. Mick's on the medium. He's already had to make a change, though. There's a multiple car crash on the racetrack, apparently. Ricardo. Car in the wall.
Let's see what happened
let's
there. Daniel Ricciardo involved here.
What's he using? The DRS or a bit of ERS, either one. He's locked up and he's lost control. He just caught the back of the Haas and he's in the wall, and they could be out of the race. I think Ricardo might be out. Or no, it appears that he's on the racetrack. He's just got to get back to the pits. There's no yellow flag being waved at this moment in time. I'm going to deploy a bit of
use
energy. So, very similar conditions of the tyres. So, I think that 1 lap difference between the two changing might be okay. So, we are currently running 12th and 13th. We have a 5-second gap on Magnussen. And then we are about 9.5 seconds to Ricciardo, but he's got to pit. So we're actually 11 seconds. This is interesting. I'm in no way suggesting we're going to finish ahead of these guys, but this is interesting. This has the ability to be our best race to date, and I feel like we're managing it quite nicely at the moment. 25 laps in the race gone. We're going to be pitting around about lap 33, 34. That's a pit stop for another team. They're obviously just letting us know that obviously Ricciardo is making that pit stop, and so he's going to be quite a ways behind. It's our gap to the Williams cars. It's that's filling me with a lot of joy as well. We really have got a nice gap to those cars. So yeah, let's just speed this through a bit more again, and try and get these cars to their pit window. 54% and 52% with what we say, and that's about 9 laps to go for the cars. We should be okay. I think we should be all right. We should be able to get them there quite comfortably. Magnussen is closing. Tsunoda is closing. I'm very aware of that. Something I do want to just check is...
Oh, we've had a spin.
Russell's now...
Here's the replay.
Jesus.
Now let's look at this. Here's George
He has
Russell.
got no one near him as well. Just clear air, and he spins the car. Unbelievable. Yeah, what I was looking at was pit stops. So... we are the only cars on the racetrack to have not pitted yet. Mick. Yeah, everyone has pitted. We've got Magnussen, who's on 70% tyre wear, and he's pitted already. So, yeah, this is, I don't know, this is really opening up to be quite an interesting race, you know. So Stroll needs to really just pull out a bit of a gap, because he's getting quite close. He's Tsunoda, very close. Yeah, we just need to kind of get these cars to the pit window. I'm not going to fight anybody. I just don't see the point in fighting anybody, because we know what our car's capable of. I think it's just a case of like really micromanaging these cars and getting them to where we want to get them in the race, in my opinion. I wish it wouldn't do that. So Lance Stroll is down to 15th. He's just been overtaken by Tsunoda and Magnussen at the same time by the looks of things. But that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to fight with these cars because they're going to be quicker than us. They're on fresher race tyres as well. There's lots to think about, and there's a lot of race to go. A lot of race to go. We've got to think about
position gained for AlphaTauri.
What the other teams are doing. And who are we going to pit first? I think we're going to have to pit Stroll first, just because of the tyres. And here we go. We've got a bit of action going on here. Pit window. Yeah, we've entered the pit window for both cars. So we are going to be... This is beautiful. This is beautiful. We're going to see a really lovely overtake there from Vettel. Good driving, Vettel. Get in there, sunshine.
That's it.
So yeah, we've entered that pit window. I think Stroll is probably going to have to come in first, just because of the tyres. But we can deploy that battery now.
Use energy.
He needs to harvest a bit of energy. So what are we at? 30. I'm going to try to run Vettel to lap 34. If at all possible. I'm going to...
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Overtake Tsunoda again. They're having their own little race there, aren't they? So yeah, the next lap we are going to be bringing in one of our cars. Vettel's dropped down. No real surprise there. Right, so where is Stroll? Stroll's going to be the first one to come in, I think. So this next lap, we're going to just go past this start-finish line. And then we're going to hammer it, basically. Lance Stroll. Let's just get him there. Vettel, just over a second. You ain't going to have your DRS now. They've pulled out a little bit of a gap. But yeah, let's go very aggressive.
We can push a bit more.
And we'll just burn off a little bit of fuel as well. So we are going to just ignore that a minute. I just want to make sure that we are pitting him at the end of this lap. And he's going on to the medium tyre. So yeah, we're going to pit you at the end of this lap. And then the following lap, we're going to pit Vettel. No, it's just I've already done it. Why would I need to do it again? Yeah, let's just stick with this. I want to make sure that I really manage this the right way. Balance that out. And just deploy a bit of energy. And Vettel rounds that last corner. We're going to go very aggressive for him as well. And we are now going to open that pit option for Vettel. And he will now be coming in next lap. So yes, our pits are going to be done. And yeah, then we're going to be into the final part of the race. And again, it's going to be a case of micromanaging and seeing what can happen, basically. Stroll is down to 16th, 19 seconds behind Lando Norris, with Albon 6 seconds up the road. Not bad at all. Vettel is flying at the moment. Trying to get the most out of these tyres on the car. Yeah, let's just harvest that, I think, for a bit. There we go. Vettel is in to the pits. He's probably going to drop down to 15th. Potentially, Stroll might go ahead of him. See what the pit stop's like. No, I think Stroll is going to be... I think Vettel's going to be absolutely fine, and he's going to enter the racetrack just behind the race leaders. Actually, he got in the way there. He got in the way. Of course he did. Typical that we are going to influence the front of the race. There you go, 15th and 16th at the moment. Not bad, not bad. The race weekend is going a lot better than I thought it was going to initially, gang. I think a lot of that is the accidents have kind of helped us out a little bit this race. We've got a lot of fuel. I'm actually really going to push this opening lap with Vettel because we've got quite a bit of fuel in reserve there. So let's have a good push, and we'll just deploy some ERS as well for Lance Stroll. And let's see what happens now. We're just going to stick with this on ×2 speed for a little bit, just until those tyres kind of get to the point I'm comfortable to drop down to a more standard look. But yeah, I'm just going to drop this down to 1 speed a minute. So everybody has made a pit stop now, and we are on the medium tyres. Everybody else is on hards. So now we're really going to get to see if this medium tyre is any better than the hard tyre, and if it's going to really kind of play into our hands in the latter part of the race. That is going to be the most interesting thing to see, I think, as we are going to harvest that energy. I'm going to drop you in standard. No point burning your tyres off any more than we really need to. You're in 16th position and going along quite nicely. And we're going to harvest that energy over the next few laps, I think, as well. We're 9 seconds up the road is Stroll from Albon, really pulling away. I think a lot of that is being on the medium and pushing in that initial stage with these tyres. Let's just drop that in, and we're going to go to ×4 speed and try to navigate through this now. As we go, we're 20 seconds away from Norris. I think 15th is as good as it's going to get, unless there's an accident now. Albon will catch us. because obviously we are settling into the race now. So yeah, we are gonna drop a bit of a gap, but it's just going to be a case of managing the expectations of these racers now, of these drivers. So yeah, it's not been the worst race, has it, gang, to be honest with you? I know we're still back markers. I'm not trying to kid myself in suggesting that it's the turning of the tide for Aston Martin. We have got some luck in this race as well. So there is that. I'm not a fool. I am paying attention to the bigger picture. But it is nice to see that there's been some small improvements at least. As you know, they are very much closing the gap now, is Albon, because obviously the race tyres have settled in and whatnot. But that is expected. Norris just pit, and we've dragged him in a little. So there you go. He's had to pit, and that's dragged him into 6 seconds up the road. Now that is interesting. I wonder what tyre Norris has gone on to. Lando Norris has gone on to the medium. Okay, he's going to have a similar race pace to us. So, yeah, this tyre, as you can see, its life is very good. We might be able to push this tyre a bit as the race goes on. Ricciardo has got past Albon, and he's really, really pulling in. I'm going to actually attack these tyres for maybe a lap or two, because I'm looking at it and there's life in these tyres. There was more life in them hards as well than expected, to be fair. I'm just going to push this just maybe for a lap or two. Just get a bit of juice out of these tyres. Try and pull a bit more of a gap. I'm a bit worried about Ricciardo. He seems to have some pace there. Might catch us. And he's sort of dragging Albon along with him as well. He's clearly got a lot more pace than Albon has. But yeah, there is that worry that Ricciardo was closing in. There's still a big gap between Ricciardo and Vettel, which is alright. It's the gap between Stroll and Ricciardo that does concern me the most at this moment in time. But yeah, we are definitely getting to the latter part of this race, aren't we? And it's not been the worst race. I've actually quite enjoyed this one. There's been lots of instances on the racetrack with those first 7 or 8 laps that were really competitive as well. Albon and Ricciardo are kind of having their own race, but like I say, they're dragging each other along here, and they're only 2 and a bit seconds up the road. That's a bit of a worry. I'm going to be really honest with you here, gang. I'm a bit worried about Ricciardo and Albon and their pace that they're showing as opposed to Stroll. Stroll's pace is really, really off, and it doesn't match Vettel's at all. I'm really surprised. Really surprised. He just doesn't seem to have the same pace as Vettel at the moment. Vettel's actually pulling Norris in, whereas Stroll is struggling somewhat on that tyre. 8 laps to go. I really, really want Vettel to finish 15th more than anything. If Stroll ends up losing a position or two, it is what it is. But I would love for Vettel to get himself his highest finish of the season so far, and a highest finish of the season for the team as well, not just for Vettel. You do have to remember that it's a team game at the end of the day. Yeah, Norris has obviously all of a sudden just kind of done something special because he's now 10 seconds up the road. Stroll is this is the worry. This is the worry. Stroll is the worry for me. Second, we're in that second now to Ricciardo, and I don't know what to do. Stroll is going to be passed. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. It really is. Stroll's struggled, really struggled, and then he's going to hunt Vettel down. He's got the pace to do it. He's got the pace to do it in the latter part of this race. Stroll has relinquished that position. It was only a matter of time.
McLaren gain a position.
Yeah. And now he's only 6 seconds away with 4 laps to go. Is that McLaren going to be quick enough to pull him in? It is entirely possible. Let's burn off some of this fuel. Towards the end of this race.
Aston Martin with a great
Stroll
play there.
overtakes
They've
Ricciardo. He
moved up
takes
a
the
place.
position back, so that's interesting. Keeping him honest. He is there or thereabouts. He's keeping him honest. So, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? How they kind of end up holding each other up and stuff. I just really want Vettel to finish where he
McLaren
is.
with a great
Yeah,
overtake.
there we go. McLaren's overtaken him again. Let's deploy some ERS. Where are we at? Well, I don't know when we enter our last lap. Ricciardo's had to come in. Ricciardo's just had to pit. I don't know what that was for. Stroll's gone past him. He's up into 16th. Albon is 6 seconds away. And I think this is basically where we're going to finish, gang. So when we go past this here, are we into the last lap? I don't think we are. I think the race leader, that lap there is the race leader's lap. So I think we're actually on the start of 57. So yeah, Sainz has just entered the last lap there. So once we are here, we will enter the last lap. So I'm actually going to attack
We can push again.
with Stroll. I'm going to wait until we are pretty much there. I'm assuming actually that we haven't been past. Lap history. No, that's not what I want. I wanted to see what lap we were on. But
Last lap.
oh, here we go. Last lap. So let's just hammer it, shall we, for the last lap
Pushing
game?
hard now, pushing hard.
We might as well.
Could be.
This, by the way, this Williams behind Vettel isn't in the race. That's the Latifi, who is a whole lap behind even us. So yeah, that's a real surprise. And this is going to be our best finish to date. And I'm absolutely buzzing about it. Absolutely buzzing about it. I really am. We've had to work hard for this one. We really have. We've had some fuel kind of there for the last lap as well to really, really push. Tyres are very much at that critical
Energy if you need it.
point.
Copy.
Sainz has taken the checkered flag. We're going to have to just ease off with Stroll. There's no real need, to be honest with you, for him to be doing that. So let's just ease it off. Tyres are absolutely bollocks. He's worried about how many laps he's going to get, but we are on the final lap, so there really isn't any worry about that. But yeah, that's not a bad day at the office. We've finished in front of a Haas and a McLaren, which is really, really top stuff for this team as it looks to improve race on race.
Sebastian Vettel with a comfortable result for his team here. Aston Martin had a good enough weekend, but there's still some margin for improvement here.
They are a solid team and will be looking to solve their issues. Hopefully, we'll start seeing stronger results from them soon.
With the race wrapped up, the team is ranked in 9th in the constructor standings.
Now, the teams will be looking ahead to Imola, where the season progresses with the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Get ready for some fierce competition.
So our race result, Max Verstappen takes fastest lap, Carlos Sainz wins it, and we finish 15th and 16th. A 2-place increase for Vettel, a 3-place increase for Stroll, and I know we had to rely on the misfortune of a few of these races behind us, but we took our chance, we took our opportunity, and it's lovely. Drivers' Championship, Vettel's up to 16th, Lance Stroll in 18th, and we remain 9th as we've finished ahead of the Williams. And that brings the Australian Grand Prix weekend to a finish, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you've enjoyed that one. That's our best race to date, and I actually feel like the team was going somewhere there. What we'll do next episode is we'll begin, as we always do, with a bit of team management. We've got lots of emails we need to take a look at. We've got one that actually requires a response. So we'll do all that at the beginning of the next episode. I like to start the episode like that and finish with the race. But yeah, be sure to let me know what you're making of the series so far in the comments. I'd really appreciate your feedback. And if you are enjoying it, be sure to give this video a massive thumbs up. But if you're new around here, consider subscribing. Not only do I upload F1 Manager, but a bunch of different games. So there's probably something for everyone. Feel free to go and check it out. But until next time, stay safe, stay humble. And I'll see ya real soon for another F1 adventure.